The garage door was wide open when I got back from the doctor's appointment. That's what hit me first. Not the empty space where Ruth's Mustang should have been, but that damn door rolled up like an invitation for every thief in Akron to come take a look. I'm Vincent Morrison, 62 years old, and I've been working on cars since I was 12. Retired from Morrison's auto shop 4 years ago when my arthritis started acting up and my hands couldn't hold the fine tools like they used to. But that car, that beautiful 1967 Shelby GT 500-, that was my project with Ruth. 20 years we spent on that thing every weekend, every holiday. She'd hand me tools and argue about paint colors while I rebuilt the engine piece by piece. Ruth died 8 months ago. Cancer took her fast, faster than the doctors said it would. The car was all I had left of those Saturday mornings when she'd bring me coffee in the garage, and we'd plan our retirement road trips we never got to take. Now the garage was empty except for my workbench and the oil stain where she used to sit. Dark patch on the concrete that looked like a wound. I walked to the house on shaky legs. Had to be a mistake. Maybe Gregory borrowed it for something. He still had his key from when he lived here before he got married and moved across town with Sandra. My boy was 32 now, worked as a sales manager at Coleman Electronics, made decent money but nothing spectacular. Always seemed stressed about finances lately, especially after Sandra started talking about wanting a bigger house, nicer vacations. The phone was ringing when I walked in. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Too many scam calls these days targeting folks my age. Mr. Morrison? This is Dennis Fletcher from Fletcher Classic Auto. I have your wife's car here. My chest went tight. What are you talking about, the Shelby? Your son brought it in Wednesday morning, said you wanted to sell it. But sir, I need you to come down here right away. There's something Ruth wanted you to find. I sat down hard in my kitchen chair. Ruth? I don't understand. Your wife came to see me 2 months before she passed. Asked me to install something special in that car. Said if anything ever happened to the Shelby, I should call you immediately. Please, Mr. Morrison, you need to come now. Fletcher Classic Auto was on the east side, industrial area where all the real car guys work. I'd known Dennis Fletcher by reputation for years. Honest mechanic, specialized in muscle cars from the 60s and 70s. His shop was clean, professional, not like some of the fly-by-night operations that had opened up around town. Dennis was waiting for me in the parking lot. Gray-haired guy about my age, wearing coveralls that had seen honest work. His hands were stained with decades of motor oil, same as mine used to be. Vincent, he walked over fast. Thank God you came. Your son had no idea what he was selling. Kid said he needed $15,000 for a trip to Paris with his wife. I paid him, but sir, that car's worth $180,000 easy. The number hit me like a punch. What? Documented 67 GT 500, one of 2,048 ever made. Numbers matching, original drivetrain restored to museum quality. Ruth brought me the documentation folder last year. She knew exactly what you two had built. I followed Dennis into the garage. The space was huge. Clean white floors, bright LED lights overhead. 3 other classics sat under covers, a 69 Camaro Z28, what looked like a 70 Plymouth Cuda, and a pristine 65 Mustang Fastback. There she was in the 4th bay, burgundy paint gleaming under the shop lights. Ruth baby. All those years of work sitting there like nothing had happened. The Wimbledon white racing stripes looked perfect, exactly the way Ruth had insisted they should be. She'd researched that color combination for months before we committed to the paint job. Why did you buy it if you knew? Dennis looked uncomfortable. Your wife made me promise something. Come here. Let me show you. He led me to the driver's side, opened the door. The black leather interior still smelled like Ruth. That vanilla perfume she wore and the leather conditioner we used every month. The Hurst shifter gleamed like new wood-rimmed steering wheel worn smooth where my hands had gripped it during countless test drives. Ruth had me install a hidden compartment behind the radio, said if anything ever happened to this car, I should make sure you found what she left. Took us 3 visits to get it right. She was very specific about how it should work. He showed me how to release the panel. Push here, pull there, twist the radio knob 2 clicks clockwise. My hands were shaking as I reached into the space and pulled out a manila envelope, thick with papers. Inside was a letter in Ruth's careful handwriting, dated just 6 weeks before she died. The paper still carried her scent. Vincent, if you're reading this, something's happened to the car and I'm not there to warn you. I've been investigating Sandra for 8 months. She's not who she claims to be. Her real name is Rebecca Thompson, and she's done this before. I've found 2 previous husbands, Eugene Patterson in Phoenix and Gerald Hayes in Tampa. Same pattern every time. She targets men with aging parents and valuable assets. My hands started shaking harder. She's planning to convince Gregory that you're declining, that you need assisted living. Then she'll push him to sell the house to pay for your care. After that, she disappears with the money. I confronted her once, carefully. She's very good at what she does. Gregory doesn't see it because he loves her, but Vincent, she's going to destroy our family. The letter continued in Ruth's methodical way. She'd always been the organized one, the planner. While I worked with my hands, she worked with her mind. I have contact information for her previous victims. Call them, learn her pattern, protect yourself and our son. I'm sorry I had to handle this alone, but I knew you'd want to confront her directly, and she can't know we're onto her until we have proof. Dennis Fletcher is a good man. I chose him because he served in Vietnam like you. You can trust him. I love you. Ruth, the folder contained photos, Sandra at different weddings with different men, marriage certificates, newspaper clippings about missing money and elderly victims, phone numbers for Eugene and Gerald written in Ruth's neat script. I sat in Ruth's car and cried. My wife spent her final months trying to protect us from a woman I'd welcomed into my family. While I was focused on her cancer treatments and doctor appointments, Ruth was playing detective, building a case against someone who was planning to destroy everything we'd built together. Dennis brought me water and stood quietly until I could talk again. He didn't rush me, didn't try to comfort me with empty words, just waited like a good soldier. She knew, I said finally. Ruth figured it out. Your wife was sharp. Came here 3 times, always when Sandra wasn't around. Asked me to keep the compartment secret until something happened to trigger it. Said you'd understand when the time came. I need to make some phone calls. Dennis let me use his office, a small room behind the garage with a metal desk and 2 filing cabinets. Photos of classic cars covered the walls, along with his discharge papers from the army, and a picture of him shaking hands with some NASCAR driver I didn't recognize. Eugene Patterson answered on the second ring, like he'd been expecting this call for years. His voice sounded tired, defeated. Mr. Patterson, this is Vincent Morrison. My son is married to a woman named Rebecca Thompson. Long pause. Then a heavy sigh. Sandra Morrison now. Yes. Jesus Christ, I wondered when this would happen. She took everything, Mr. Morrison. Everything. Eugene was 61 years old, a retired electrician from Phoenix. He told his story slowly, each word careful, like he'd practiced what to say if someone ever asked. He met Rebecca in the spring of 2019 at a community center where his mother volunteered. Rebecca was helping organize events for seniors, charming and attentive. She seemed genuinely interested in him and his family. His wife had died 3 years earlier from a heart attack. He was lonely, struggling to take care of his 83-year-old mother while dealing with his own grief. Rebecca was patient, understanding. She made him feel like a man again instead of just a grieving widower. They dated for 4 months. She was in no rush, never pushed for anything. Made him think it was all his idea when he proposed. After the wedding, Rebecca started with small comments about his mother. She seems to be slowing down, Eugene. Have you noticed? She forgot my name yesterday. Is that normal? I'm worried about her driving. What if something happens? Eugene started noticing things he hadn't before. His mother had always been a little forgetful. What 83-year-old wasn't? But Rebecca would point out every missed appointment, every repeated story, every moment of confusion. Normal aging suddenly looked like serious decline. She'd leave articles about dementia on the kitchen counter, Eugene said. Stories about elderly people getting lost, having accidents. Always with a concerned look, like she was just trying to help. Over 6 months, Rebecca built a convincing case that his mother wasn't safe living alone. Then she found Sunset Manor, the best memory care facility in Arizona. $22,000 a month. The only way to afford it was selling Mom's house. Rebecca said, we couldn't put a price on safety, on peace of mind. Mom had lived in that house for 47 years, but Rebecca convinced me it was the right thing to do. The house sold for $285,000. Every penny went into a joint account with Rebecca to pay for the facility. His mother moved in on a Tuesday. The following Monday, Rebecca was gone. Cleaned out the account, changed her phone number, disappeared completely. I tried everything, police, private investigators, lawyers, but the money was in a joint account, technically legal. The cops said it was a civil matter. His mother died 4 months later. Eugene's voice cracked. She kept asking when she could go home. I kept telling her soon, maybe next month, but there was no home left and no money to get her one. I'm sorry, I said. Mom was fine, Mr. Morrison. A little slower than she used to be, but fine. She didn't need that place. She needed her own bed, her own kitchen, her garden. Rebecca killed her as surely as if she'd used a gun. He gave me details about Rebecca's methods, her timeline, warning signs I should watch for. Then he said something that chilled me to the bone. Whatever Rebecca is telling your son about you, don't believe it. Document everything. She'll start small comments about you forgetting things, being tired, maybe having trouble with simple tasks. Then she'll escalate. Make it seem like you're becoming a danger to yourself. I thanked Eugene and dialed the second number. Gerald Hayes answered immediately, like he'd been sitting by the phone. Gerald Hayes. Mr. Hayes, this is Vincent Morrison. I'm calling about Rebecca Thompson. Christ almighty. Yeah, I've been waiting for someone to call. Rebecca Thompson, Sandra Morrison, Linda whatever the hell her real name is. Gerald was 64, a retired plumber from Tampa. His story was different in details but identical in pattern. Met Rebecca at his father's funeral in March 2021. She was there supporting a friend, she said, expressing genuine condolences. She understood grief, had lost someone close recently too. His father had owned Hayes Plumbing for 43 years, built it from nothing into a solid neighborhood business. Gerald inherited everything but had no interest in running it. Too many memories, too much responsibility. Rebecca suggested selling. It's causing you so much stress, honey. Your father wouldn't want that. Sell it, take the money, travel together, heal. Made perfect sense at the time. The business sold for $98,000. Money went into joint accounts for their new life together. 3 days after the check cleared, Rebecca vanished. Gerald traced her through credit card records to Costa Rica. But by the time he got there, the money was gone, laundered through multiple offshore accounts. She researches her targets for months before making contact, Gerald explained. Knows everything about your family, your finances, your vulnerabilities. She probably knew about your son's marriage problems, his debt, his wife's spending habits before she ever said hello. Marriage problems? You didn't know. Credit checks, social media, public records. She maps out entire family situations. Your son's been struggling financially for over a year. Perfect setup for her operation. After the calls, Dennis and I sat in his office, staring at Ruth's evidence. 2 families destroyed. 3 elderly people dead or displaced, over $500,000 stolen, and now Sandra was working the same con on us. What's her timeline usually? Dennis asked. Based on Eugene and Gerald, she works slowly. 2 to 3 years to set up, 6 months to execute. Sandra's been married to Gregory for 2 years. Then you're in the final phase. I thought about recent conversations with my son. Sandra asking about my health, my memory. Gregory wondering if I was getting confused about things. Comments about the house being too big, too much work for someone my age. That afternoon, I called Arthur Collins, a private investigator I knew from the VFW. Arthur and I served together in Vietnam, different units, but same area of operations around Da Nang in '68. He'd gone into police work after the service, then private investigation when he retired. Good man, methodical, didn't jump to conclusions. Art, I need help with a family situation. Can't go into details over the phone. Come by the office, I'll make time. Arthur's office was downtown in an old brick building that had seen better days. 2nd floor, frosted glass door with his name stenciled in black letters. Inside looked like every detective movie you'd ever seen. Metal desk, filing cabinets, coffee pot. That probably hadn't been cleaned since the Carter administration. I laid out Ruth's evidence and told him what Eugene and Gerald had shared. Arthur listened without interrupting, taking notes in a small leather-bound book he'd carried since our army days. Professional con artist, he said finally. High-level operation. Most people running this type of scam work alone, hit maybe 1 or 2 targets before moving on. This woman's been at it for years. Can you find out more about her? Already started while you were talking. Sandra Morrison. Maiden name claimed as Sandra Walsh from Cleveland. Problem is, there's no record of Sandra Walsh in Cleveland, matching her description and age. Whatever her real name is, Sandra Walsh isn't it. Arthur's computer skills had improved since retirement. He pulled up credit reports, social media profiles, public records. Within an hour, he had a clearer picture of Sandra's operation. Your son's got credit cards he doesn't know about. $28,000 in debt across 4 different accounts. All opened in the last 18 months. all with forged signatures. He showed me the applications. Gregory's handwriting, but subtly different. Someone had practiced copying his signature until they could duplicate it well enough to fool bank clerks. Designer clothes, expensive restaurants, jewelry, that trip to Paris you mentioned. She's been living high on borrowed money. Your son's salary as a sales manager? What? 65,000 a year. About that. Can't support this lifestyle. She's been planning this finale for months, maybe longer. The car sale was probably supposed to be emergency money. Keep them afloat until she could execute the main plan. Arthur pulled up property records for my house. $320,000 current assessed value, paid off, no liens. Prime target for someone looking to cash out quick. What's her next move? Based on the pattern from Eugene and Gerald, she'll create a crisis. Make it appear you're becoming a danger to yourself or others. Maybe stage a kitchen fire. Report you driving erratically, claim you forgot to turn off appliances. Then she'll have the perfect excuse to push Gregory into making hard decisions about your care. We spent the rest of the afternoon mapping Sandra's strategy. Arthur showed me surveillance techniques, how to document interactions, what evidence would hold up in court. He also had disturbing news about Sandra's current activities. She's been active on caregiver forums under fake names, asking questions about how to convince resistant elderly people they need professional care. Posted inquiries about memory care facilities in the area, costs, admission procedures. She's already planning where to put me. Gets worse. She's been browsing real estate listings for properties in Costa Rica. Same place Gerald Hayes tracked her to. Once she's got your money, she'll disappear just like before. 3 days later, Gregory showed up at my door looking like death warmed over. Dark circles under his eyes, hands shaking, clothes rumpled like he'd slept in them. Dad, I need to talk to you about Sandra. I let him in, made coffee, and waited. My son sat at the kitchen table where his mother had fed him breakfast every morning for 18 years. He looked like a lost child. Something's wrong with her, Dad. Or something's wrong with me. I can't tell anymore. What do you mean? She's been asking about money constantly. Says her consulting business needs capital for expansion. But when I ask for details, she changes the subject. Yesterday I found credit card statements I'd never seen before. Gregory pulled out papers from his jacket. Bank statements, credit card bills, applications I'd already seen in Arthur's office. $28,000 in debt. Dad, cards in my name I didn't apply for. When I confronted Sandra about it, she said they were business investments, that I should trust my wife instead of questioning her every move. His voice cracked. Then she started saying things about you. How worried she is about your health, your memory. Claims you've been forgetting conversations we never had, asking the same questions repeatedly. Says she's concerned you might be developing dementia. The manipulation was more advanced than I'd realized. Sandra wasn't just setting me up as a victim, she was using me as a weapon against my own son, making him doubt his own perceptions while questioning my mental capacity. What else did she say? That we need to start thinking about your future care. Found brochures for assisted living facilities, memory care units. Said it would be irresponsible to wait until something bad happens. Gregory looked at me with desperate eyes. Dad, I don't know what's real anymore. Are you having problems I haven't noticed? Am I missing signs that you need help? This was the moment Ruth had prepared me for. I went to my desk and pulled out the manila folder. Son, I need you to look at something. But before I show you, I want you to know that whatever happens next, your mother and I love you. This isn't your fault. I placed Ruth's investigation file on the table. Gregory stared at the photos of Sandra at different weddings, the marriage certificates, the newspaper clippings about financial fraud. What is this? Your mother spent her last months investigating Sandra. Her real name might be Rebecca Thompson or Linda Marsh or something else entirely. She's done this before, Gregory. Twice that we know of. Gregory's face went white as he read Ruth's letter, studied the evidence, absorbed the scope of what we'd uncovered. This can't be real. Sandra loves me. Sandra loves your access to this family's assets. Read what Eugene Patterson wrote about his mother. Look at Gerald Hayes' statement about his father's business. Same pattern every time, but she married me. We have a life together. You have what she allowed you to think was a life together. Gregory, I need you to call these phone numbers. Talk to Eugene and Gerald yourself. Hear their stories directly. My son stared at the papers like they might burst into flames. Everything he thought he knew about his marriage, his wife, his future, all of it crumbling in real time. If this is true, then I've been living with a complete stranger for 2 years. Worse than a stranger. You've been living with someone who's been planning to destroy your family since the day you met her. Gregory called Eugene Patterson that night. I listened from the kitchen extension as my son heard the same heartbreaking story I'd heard earlier, but this time it hit different. This was his wife Eugene was describing, the woman who'd shared Gregory's bed for 2 years, who'd talked about having children and buying a bigger house and building a future together. When Gregory hung up, he sat in silence for 10 minutes. Then he called Gerald Hayes. Same story, different details. By the time he finished both conversations, my son looked like he'd aged 5 years. I have to go home and confront her. No, not yet. We need more evidence, something concrete that will stand up in court. Arthur had given me specific instructions. Document everything, record conversations if possible. Gather financial evidence before Sandra realized we were onto her. Moving too fast would just give her time to cover her tracks and disappear. The next morning, Gregory called in sick to work and came over early. We spent hours going through his financial records, documenting the forged credit card applications, tracking Sandra's spending patterns. The evidence was overwhelming, nearly $35,000 in fraudulent charges over 18 months. She's been planning this since before we got married, Gregory said, staring at restaurant charges from expensive places he'd never been, jewelry purchases he'd never seen her wear. The whole relationship was fake. That evening, Gregory went home and started asking casual questions. Where did Sandra grow up? What was her maiden name again? Tell me about your family, your childhood friends. Simple questions a husband should know about his wife. Her answers were different. Not just different from what she'd told him before, but completely contradictory. Different hometown, different high school, different college. When he pressed for details, she became defensive, angry. Why are you interrogating me like this? Don't you trust your own wife? Gregory pushed harder. I found some credit card statements I'd never seen before. Cards in my name. Sandra's face changed completely. Gregory described it later as watching a mask fall off. The loving, concerned wife disappeared, replaced by someone cold and calculating. Those are business expenses. Investment opportunities you wouldn't understand. What business? You've never shown me this consulting work you claim to do. I don't have to prove anything to you. You should trust me. When Gregory demanded to see documentation for this mysterious business, Sandra packed a suitcase. No more pretending, no more manipulation tactics. You're just like your father, she spat. Weak, suspicious, ungrateful. You have no idea what I've sacrificed for this family. She was in the car and gone within an hour. Gregory called me immediately. She left. Just like that. 2 years of marriage and she walked away the moment I asked for proof of anything. Arthur had been monitoring Sandra's activities. Within hours of leaving Gregory, she'd checked into the airport Marriott under a different name, made multiple cash withdrawals totaling $15,000, and booked a 6 a.m. flight to Mexico City. One-way ticket. Time to move, Arthur said. I've contacted detectives in Arizona and Florida. They're issuing warrants based on the evidence we've gathered. If we move fast, we can stop her before she boards. At 3 a.m, we met at the airport, Gregory, Arthur, and me. Detective Martinez from Akron PD was already there with backup, positioned near the security checkpoint. They'd coordinated with airport police and TSA to ensure Sandra couldn't slip through. Gregory looked destroyed, sitting in that uncomfortable airport chair. His whole adult life had been built on a lie, and now he was about to watch it collapse in the most public way possible. At 5:30, Sandra appeared. Designer luggage, perfect hair, expensive coat. She looked like exactly what she was, a predator who'd been living well off other people's money and pain. The arrest happened fast. Detective Martinez approached her at security, showed his badge. Sandra tried to run, kicked off her heels, sprinted across the polished floor in stockings. Airport security tackled her before she made it 20 feet. They found $52,000 in cash in her luggage, multiple fake passports, bank account information for offshore accounts in 3 countries. Professional operation, just like Arthur had said. Sandra saw us watching from behind the security tape. Her composure cracked completely. You stupid old bastard. She screamed at me. This was mine. 3 years I invested in your pathetic family. She turned on Gregory with pure hatred. And you, worthless mama's boy. You really believed someone like me could love you. You were nothing but a paycheck and a stepping stone. Security dragged her away, still screaming threats and obscenities. My son flinched with every word, but he needed to see who she really was underneath the act. The investigation revealed Sandra's real identity. Linda Marsh from Toledo, 15 years of similar cons across 6 states. The prosecutor offered her a plea deal, 12 years federal prison in exchange for cooperation in locating stolen assets. Eugene Patterson and Gerald Hayes flew in to testify. Seeing them in person, hearing their stories again, drove home how close we'd come to losing everything. Sandra had been months away from executing the final phase of her plan. Gregory's marriage was annulled since Sandra had married him under false identity. The credit card companies forgave most of his fraudulent debt. Dennis Fletcher returned the Mustang officially, refusing any payment beyond the $15,000 he'd given Gregory. "Your wife asked me to protect this car until her family could take proper care of it," Dennis said. "This is what Ruth wanted." We backed the Shelby into the garage together, father and son. The oil stain was still there, dark and familiar. The garage smelled right again, motor oil, leather, decades of honest work. Gregory moved back into his old room while he rebuilt his life. Some days were harder than others, but gradually he started healing. We began working on the car together, following Ruth's restoration notes, learning skills I should have taught him years earlier. 6 months later, we took the Mustang for its first real drive since Ruth died. The engine purred perfectly, all those years of careful work paying off in smooth acceleration and precise handling. Gregory drove, and I could see Ruth in his gentle touch with the controls. "Dad," he said as we pulled back into the driveway, "I want to learn everything about this car. Everything you and Mom built." That's my story. Ruth saved our family even after she was gone, protecting us from someone who would have destroyed 3 generations of honest work. The car isn't just transportation, it's proof that love and patience create something lasting, something worth protecting. So let me ask you something, especially if you're a man my age with adult children. Are you paying attention to who they're bringing into your family? Do you know what's really going on in their marriages, their finances, their daily lives? Because predators like Linda Marsh are out there right now, studying families like yours, looking for weaknesses they can exploit. They're counting on you being too polite, too trusting, too afraid of causing family drama to ask the hard questions. Don't let that be your story. Protect what you've built, and trust your instincts when something feels wrong. Your family's future might depend on it.